Good morning students, welcome back to our video classes. Today we are going to see a separate concept, very important concept which are very important for you in your high school grammar, that is if classes and conditional classes. I am Chandrashekhar, welcome back to your classes. Already we discussed different concepts in the grammar. So what are important concepts which are really needed for the if classes and conditional classes? In the last class we discussed all the concepts, something like phrases, clauses, and we discussed the tenses in detail. And all these concepts are very important to understand if classes are conditional classes. So let us start this video with the definition, then we will go in detail what are the important points which are going to cover for if classes are conditional classes. I am going to take two different sessions, that is part 1 session as an introductory session. In part 2 session, we will see in detail what are if classes and what are the types of classes in the if classes are conditional classes. Now, let us have a glance on it. Now, let us start this topic. See these students. First, we will see the definition of if classes are conditional classes. So most of the cases when you are seeing in your English grammar, we will see a topic called if clauses. Now, before going to the classes, we should have idea of phrases and clauses. We already discussed in the last class in detail with the different types of phrases and clauses. Let us today recapitalize this concept, what are phrases, definition, and what are the clauses in detail. Now see this definition, student. If classes are conditional classes means what? First, if or conditional classes are the sentences where there is a condition. In the particular sentence, you will see one condition like statement. Like if is a statement. Means if you do something, you will achieve something. You will get the sentence meaning in that way. Once again, if you do something, you will get something in your life. You will get such a type of importance in the sentences. But these sentences when you are writing, it is also having different types of writing. Let us just go through with a simple definition in this introductory part. So, if conditional classes are the sentences where there is a condition. Now, what type of condition will be there? We will see now. Now, when you are writing the condition, in general, the condition will be with the statement of if. The conjunction if is used in the class. Now, in if classes, we are going to use one conjunction. We are going to write the conjunction called if. And it is called if or conditional class. Means mandatory, you should have a conditional statement. That conditional statement must begin with a conjunction called if. Next one. Now, before going to that, let us discuss, we will go back to the concept of phrases and clauses. Why? Because today we are going to discuss this separate topic called if clauses. Now, you need to have the idea of phrases and clauses. Now, what is a phrase actually? You know very well. A phrase about that particular verb, a group of verbs without a verb is called a phrase. Always, you are going to see that particular phrase will not have a right a phrase doesn't contain a verb and it never gives a complete sense. In general, if you are going to see that, a verb always never gives a complete sense. So, a group of words without a verb is called a phrase. It never gives the complete sense. If you see that particular sentence, that part of a sentence which have meaning, but it is not going to give the complete meaning. Let us see this example. She was waiting at the gate. This is the whole sentence. In this sentence, she was waiting at the gate. At the gate is a phrase. Now this particular phrase contains followed with what here? An article and a noun followed with a preposition. He was in the office. He was in the office. Same thing followed with a preposition, article and maybe contains a noun. Now these phrases are also different types. We already discussed in the last class. If you want it, just go back to the phrases concept and understand clearly. This is very important. And very important thing is, if you want to understand if classes are conditional classes, first you need to have the idea of classes. Already we discussed number of classes, topics like noun, adverbial, adjectival classes, and already we discussed with the relative classes topic, and you might understood clearly the classes concept. Otherwise, just now we will see with one more example what is a class, how it is called a concept. See this particular concept now. A group of words involving a verb is called a class. Always will have a verb combination in a class. Right? Phrase will not have a verb combination. It may or may not give complete sense. It may or may not give the complete sense. How? In a whole sentence, there are two parts are there. One is called main class, another one is called dependent class. Independent class, dependent class. If it is giving complete sense, it is called a main class. If that sentence does not contain complete sense, then it is called a dependent class. Means always the class contains two parts, main class and that is second one is called dependent class. This is also called as main class, subordinate class. Okay, so these are the two difference between the classes. Now let us see this one in if classes, how it looks like. Let us see these two examples. You will understand now. I am taking an example. Just now I said that mostly in the if classes must be followed with a conjunction of if. Just now I said, if you are going to do this thing, you are going to get success in such a way. In such a meaning, if you are going to write that is called a if class. Let us see these two examples. You will understand now. If you work hard, you will pass. If you work hard, you will pass. Now there are two parts happening. In the first part, first one, see, if followed with this one, there is a subordinate class. In this last classes concepts, I clearly explained that you have done with the classes of adverbial, adjective and noun classes. They are depends on the subordinate class. Here, the same thing. The if classes will be added with the condition of if with a subordinate class only. How it is? If you work hard, you will pass. In this first part, see these two different parts, you will pass. It is a main class. Always main class will not depends on the subordinate class, but subordinate class depends on the main class to make a complete sense. Means if you are going to work hard, then you are going to get passed in the examination. That is the meaning of the sentence. Always the if class is followed with if and the subordinate class is very important. The second part is called main class. See the example number 2 now, students. I will attend the party if you invite me. So in this one, the first part is the main part. That is, I will attend the party is the main class. If you invite me contains if followed with the subordinate class. Now you might understood that always if class, the class which contains if condition is a if class. Always if classes must be added with a subordinate class. This is very important. Always subordinate class contains if condition. Now let us see few more other examples. Students, Now we will see these two examples. You will understand more clearly about the if classes are conditional classes. Example number 1 is if you come, I will also come. So in this case, what is our actually if followed with the subordinate class. The first part is the subordinate class and the second one is called main class. Just read independently. I also come will become the main class. And if you come, because you come is not a complete sentence. It is depending on main class. If you add the if, then it is going to become if class or conditional class. Second one, see the second statement also, that is sentence number 2. If he becomes PM, that is Prime Minister. So this is the main class. So this is of similarly with the if class, that is if followed with the subordinate class. The next part of the sentence, the country will develop. So this is the not main class of the sentence. So you will understand that in this particular sentence, always the main class, subordinate class is followed with the if statement. That is, if it becomes a PM, the country will develop. So all these sentences, you have been seeing that in each part of the sentence, it is following with the tenses. If you are simple present, and simple present is following with the, that is future, simple future tense. Past, simple past tense with the future, simple past, future tense. So the combinations are there in the if classes. Now what type of combinations you will get? So you can understand with these types of conditions, there are 4 different types of conditions are there. First type is called type 0 condition. The second one is called type 1 condition. The third one is called type 2 condition. The last one is called type 3 condition. Always type 0 conditions are called 0 conditions. Type 0 conditions. Type 1 conditions are called real, possible or probable conditions. Always these conditions are possibly happens in the sentence. If you read the sentence, you will have the possible conditions in the sentence. They are called as type 1 classes. Second one is called type 2 conditions. What are type 2 conditions? They are called unreal or hypothetical. So they are called hypothetical conditions. And the last one, type 3 conditions are called, always the sentences are impossible. So if you read the sentence, you won't have a possibility. They are called completed in the way. That means it is having the completed actions are there in the statement. So all these 4 different types of conditions we will learn more accurately in your next classes with number of examples in part 2 session. Now before going to that, so I am giving I'm going to give one session starting with this part 2 session. So you have to just go through the tenses well, where you are going to see this present tense, past tense and future tense, all the structures. Easily you can understand type 0 condition, type 1 condition, type 2 condition, type 3 condition. In the next class, in part 2 session, I will explain how to write type 0, type 1, type 2 and type 3 conditions in detail. So thank you for watching this video.